Got a very exciting, episode for you guys today. We'll be picking our 11 from the squad that was announced today. The SA squad for the tour to India was announced, and we'll be selecting our 11, or our best 11, combined 11. All of us on the fan base over here will be doing that together, and we'll be going to be discussing each position. So let's do that. Let's get into it. I don't want to waste too much time because it's going to take quite a long time for us to get into everything. I'm going to do something a little bit different to what we normally do. So guys, just follow the instructions very carefully. There's going to be some rules that we're going to obviously follow leading into this particular video. It will be different from how we used to do things. And there's a lot less admin, I think, for all of you guys in the live chat. So how we're going to do this is I will provide all the information after this particular intro. I was very impressed with the squad. I will give a little bit about my opinion as well on the squad after this particular intro. So let's get into today's video. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say, and I'm also excited to see what you guys vote for. But before we get going, before we get started, smash the like button, please, comment, and also do this. Please subscribe. That button's red, subscribe. Click that notification bell for all future videos. Very important that you guys do that as well, because that's how we grow this channel continuously, as you guys know. We also want you to download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. I also want you guys to please become a patron today. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. I also want you guys to go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all updates. Please do so, because that's where the majority of our content is published, other than on this YouTube channel and our magazines. So without further ado, guys, looking forward to this episode. I would love to hear what you guys have to think about the squad, and I will be discussing it a little bit before we get going. So let's do this. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. Now, I've got my friend Aditya with me today as well. So I'm going to be bringing him, I just made him disappear, and here he is right now, boom, right there with us. Welcome to the show, Aditya. We're going to be discussing, obviously, the India tour. It's exciting for both of us. It's both of our teams involved in this one, of course. So let's get to it. I want to just please quickly discuss the logistics around the tour, a little bit about that first and foremost before we get started. There's also some other news that we can talk about at the end, but let's just first and foremost start with this particular situation right here with South Africa going to India. Trying to find the release quickly for you guys so that you guys can have a look and see, because I've created a squad, but how are we going to do I've created a squad. I put the squad together, of course, so that we do have the squad available to us, and I put it into a little graphic so we can discuss it a little bit more. It's very important that all of you guys listen to the instructions that I give when we start the voting process. I'm going to obviously talk a lot more now until more people come on the stream, so get this shared to as many people as possible. I want to get this squad as versatile as possible, most amount of votes that we can possibly get. So please share this with as many people. I'm going to first talk about the logistics right now. It will give enough time for you to guide people onto the show. Force them, guys, to come onto the show, whether they're watching on their TVs or their PlayStations or their phones or their laptops or wherever the case may be. Get them on the show, guys. Tell them that they should join right now. So, Timber of Women's Protest T20 squad will make a return to international cricket for the first time since the ICC T20 World Cup in late 2021, when they take on India in a 5-match series across 5 venues in India from 9 to 19 June. Okay, so that's the most important part about the statement, other than Tristan Stubbs getting his maiden call up. The next part of this particular release that I want to read is just the itinerary. So the places that they are playing at is very important, and I'm going to obviously need Aditya's help over here, of course, later on in the show to discuss certain things. I just want to let you guys know what's happening. So the 9th of June, first T20I is in Delhi. The 12th June, second T20I in Cuttack. 14th June, third T20I in Vizag. You must just tell me how to pronounce it, though, if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly or not. Just correct me, Aditya. 17th June, fourth T20I in Rajkot. And 19th June, fifth T20I, Bengaluru. So those are the different venues. Those are the different dates. And let's just first start there. I want to know from you, Aditya, the different venues. What can we expect from the different venues over here with regards to conditions? How have they played out over the last times that you've seen matches played in these venues?
Look, generally in T20 cricket, given that these wickets are fresh and they won't bear the burden of having multiple games played on them, I'd expect them to be quite batting friendly. But I think if there's one thing that everyone should be prepared for is that the series is starting right around the time that the monsoons begin in India. So I do think that a couple of games will be rain interrupted. Uh, and also just today, I think there were reports that the monsoons are expected 6 days earlier than previously anticipated. So I think that's certainly a consideration. But I think generally, we can expect to see some pretty batting friendly wickets and a few high scoring games.
And with regards to spin, I think that's the main question that most people will have. How are these wickets with regards to spin? Or do you feel that these wickets will be prepared closer to seamer friendly wickets?
I think there'll be a fair bit of balance bet. I don't think expecting any rank turners here. So, and also places like Vizag, for example, where there aren't a lot of international games played. Um, there's that bit of unknown going into the going into Vizag, and I think that's probably where I anticipate a fair bit of rain. But let's hope that
Okay.
the series doesn't have any rain interruptions.
Okay, so let me get into the squad. That's the next thing that we want to discuss before we get into our picking our 11s. Get more people to share this. Smash the like button, please, for the squad. I've obviously split it up into batters, all rounders, seamers, and spinners, just for logistic, so that you guys can see. So we've got Tim Bavuma as captain, Quinton de Kock, Riza Hendricks, Heinrich Klaassen, Aiden Markram, David Miller, Tristan Stubbs, Rassie van der Dissen. Then we've got all rounders in Dwayne Pretorius, Marco Jansen, Wayne Parnell, which was a surprise inclusion in from my perspective. I thought I was quite shocked that he was. Not shocked, I wouldn't say, but I was quite surprised that he was selected. But then again, it seems like they have been looking at him as that all-rounder in the South African side across formats, except Test, of course, but in the white ball arena. Then we've got Lungi Ngidi, Andrik Nokia, and Kagiso Rabada. So we're taking a full-strength seam attack over here, as you can see. And then Keshak Maharaj and Tabrace Shamsi. So that's the squad that we have available to us. I was a bit concerned that we don't see the likes of Yanaman in the squad, who was around in that T20 in the T20 World Cup. He was around. He wasn't in the initial squad, but he was in the reserves. Funny that he's not picked over here, even though he hasn't gathered many opportunities in T20 cricket. How do you go from making a T20 World Cup squad to not making a squad that goes to India? So what are some of the missions do you think, Aditya, over here from your perspective? I was also quite shocked to see that Andile Pekukwayo wasn't selected. I'm not necessarily upset about it. I understand why, but I was quite shocked actually because they've been so loyal to him in the past in different other matches. But it makes sense because he's in the best of form. So they were brave enough to do that, and we need to give credit where it's due. So please share this with everybody, guys. Let's get more people onto the stream. I want to get more people so that we can make sure that this actually works out for us, that we get a nice expansive team over here that we vote for. Aditya, some of the omissions. Who do you think was unlucky to miss out on this particular squad? I mean, congratulations to Tristan Stubbs, of course, for making his maiden goal up as well.
I mean, in an ideal scenario, I think it would be great to have Devon Bravis on this tour. I know that I know that there are mixed views about it, but if I were to select, I would have Brevis in this team for
Okay.
for a multitude of reasons. One is that I think the only thing that South Africa have to gain from this tour is confidence, and it would help even if Dewald Brevis is not in the playing 11. It would help for him. It would help him and the team for him to be around the squad because look, the next T20 World Cup is happening in conditions that are exactly the opposite of of India and where the series is going to be played. Uh, so I don't think it's going to develop anyone's game to really enhance their performance in the World Cup. But I think there is something to be said for the fact that if Brevis has been around here in the IPL for a couple of months, and learned a few new tricks, then it would certainly help the team and Brevis himself for him to be part of the squad. And I think he should have been there.
Yeah. I mean, we discussed it on previous shows. We said that he could possibly be someone that could be added into the squad, but that was also before we actually knew how Heinrich Klaassen was doing, etc. Because Heinrich Klaassen has kind of made a late, I wouldn't say late, but a second shot at this position in the team based on what he's done for SAA and what he's done domestically. So it's almost like that position. He's taken an extra batting position, obviously, in the side. Yes, we can look at him as a second wicket keeper as well. But from other than that, if you're just looking at him as a batter, you could say maybe there. But I do feel the likes of Vian Lubbe, Janeman Malan, George Linder, Lazard Williams. I even think, even to the extent maybe someone like Clinton Steelman. Some of those guys are a bit hard. I feel a little bit sad for them because they have been putting in performance. Even Bjorn Fortuin, I think he's been excellent in T20 cricket recently, and I was a bit sad that he wasn't selected because I think he's shown that he is a champion bowler with regards to spin bowling. But let's get into this particular episode. This is how we're going to do it today. I've decided that we're going to do polls, guys. So I'm going to put polls up for you guys in the live chat for you guys to vote. Instead of us going and counting the votes and giving you guys too much admin, I'm going to put up the names and of the batters that you choose per position. So for the openers, I'm going to take the two best names that you take. So the people first and second. So who you want in the first position and the second position, the two with the most percentages, that's going to be the ones that we select as our two openers, and we're going to go and then pick each position after that. So let's start with the openers. I'm going to be putting that together. There were some people that you wanted to see in the squad before. Like I said, there was a suggestion of Rassie van der Dussen maybe opening the batting. So I'm going to throw him into the mix as well as Reza Hendricks, because we have a lot of guys that see these four guys, or the three of the four that I'm going to be selecting for this particular poll, as anchors in the team. So the best positions possibly for them would probably be the opening position. Now we'll add the rest to number 3 position as we go along. But I'm going to take the best two that you pick over here. So I'm going to ask the community right now. The poll is in the chat. I'm going to be putting it in the chat right now. If you guys see it, let me know. I'm going to pin it to the top right. It is actually pinned to the top right now. So start your voting process, guys. I want to see what you guys select. The first two that get selected, the two highest selections, those are going to be the number 1 and number 2 that you open up with. So that's how we're going to go with this. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. Aditya, if you look at the batters that we have available, what is your thoughts on the opening positions for South Africa? Who would you go with, and why?
Hembo and Quinny.
Yeah,
because
and
I think the opening position simply needs to have that balance, and the rest of the batting order, it needs to complement one another in terms of attack and balance. So I would go for Tembo and Quinny.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Aditya, I'll probably go with exactly the same. I mean, I do understand the whole Rassie situation, and I think that Rasi would probably be someone that people will look at. And generally speaking, I can see that thought process of having Rasi maybe as an opener. I can see that in the future. But I've given you guys a couple of minutes to vote. You guys have voted. Your votes are in right now, and East Temba and Quinny that you guys have selected. Do you understand some fans' idea of maybe seeing someone like Rassie in the team? Can you see Rassie as an opener for South Africa?
I can objectively, I can, but at the moment I can't, because it would mean that Temba would probably have to play at 5, and I don't think that's his best position. So objectively, yes, I do, but I think in the IPL more than South Africa, because I don't think the South Africa team structure would allow him to be an opener.
Okay. So I'm in the poll now. I think that was probably the easiest one to actually select. So remember, guys, you can't obviously choose the same. You can't pick the same guy again. So that's why I'm going to be moving Temba and Quinton for that number 3 spot now. You have to pick from who's available, the rest of the people that are available. So I'm going to put up for the number 3 position. I'm going to put that up right now for you guys to vote. Please send people in to this live chat so that more people can come. I want to see you guys smash the video as well. Smash the like button, not the video. Smash the like button. Lord, guys, okay, forgive me because I was the entire day. I had to go renew my license today, and I was at the place for so long. We had to do. I don't know if you guys know what our process is when we have to go renew our license, etc. But you have to do an eye test again. And 3 people ahead of me failed their eye tests, and they tried 3 times. Different people tried 3 different times. So like they failed, and then they tried again, and failed again. So I was sitting there waiting for my turn because people ahead of me got the other 2 opening slots where people were finishing up. So I'm waiting, and I was like, I got the exact spot where those 3 people failed. So I was quite nervous. I passed, guys, 2020 vision, don't worry about me. I'm clean. I can drive wherever I want. But I digress. Let's go. Let's get into the number 3 position. I'm going to put in Riza over here, guys, because you haven't selected him, obviously, for the openers. I'm going to put in Rassie over here for you guys. I'm going to add... Aditya, do you have the squad in front of you? If not, I can just send it to you quickly on WhatsApp.
Yeah, I'm downloading the squad right here.
Okay, cool. Just so that I can remember who's everybody that's in the squad again, because I'm obviously low scope. You won't understand that I'm laughing at my own jokes, South African slang here that I'm talking here. You don't, directly translated, loose head. So number 3 could possibly be. Oh, flip. Okay, so the number 3 can possibly be as well Aiden Markram. I would throw in there, maybe. Would you agree? As an option. I'm just want to put the option out there. I'm not saying that he's definitely going to be a number 3, but just to give people the opportunity to vote for more than one. There's a maximum of 4 votes. 4 people that I can add, so that's how I'm going to do it. Riza, Rassie, Aiden, anybody else in there that you want to maybe throw in as a number 3, as a possible number 3, Aditya, that we've missed out?
Heinrich Clausen.
You want to throw him in there as well, maybe as a possible number 3?
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't be number 3 on.
No, he wouldn't. But okay, let's leave Heinrich out of it. Let's just pick from Aiden, Riza, and Rassie. Let's ask the community about that one, guys. Let's close the last one. I think that's the only batters that I've missed with regards to top order batters. Tristan Stubbs, I think, I'm gonna put him in the conversation for number 4 downwards. Okay, so you guys go ahead and vote for your number 3. I would like to know. Go to the poll, vote for your number 3. Let's see what you guys come up with. Let's see how many of you guys vote, and let's pick our number 3 right now. Obviously, the one with the highest percentage wins. And that's how we're going to do this right now. So let's have a look. At the moment, Rassie is winning the poll. Riza got no votes. Riza got 1 vote. So it's going, guys. Keep going. I'm going to stop the voting system when it gets closer and closer to the amount of people that are viewing currently. There are currently 16 people viewing this. I wish it was more. So guys, please share this, smash the like button, do all of those things to get more people involved. So yeah, let's see how it's going. At the moment, it's neck to neck with regards to Rassie and Aiden. They are currently tying for that position. We're going to need a decider, and I think if this happens more than often, if it does happen at the end of the day, if all the votes have been tallied up and it is a tie, I'm probably going to have to be the tiebreaker, me and Aditya. We'll obviously fight it out and decide who we're going to put in that number 3 position. Unfortunately, guys, that's what you have to live with, that biasness from our side. Currently, there's 13 votes. Guys, get voting. I'm going to close the poll very soon. Let's see who gets that number 3 position. Currently, Aiden is in the running over here. I like that actually. I don't mind Aiden at the number 3 position. I like him at 4 though. It is where I see him for South African T20 cricket maybe going forward. But I can understand some fans thinking of that number 3 position maybe as an opportunity for him. So it's good to see that people are also maybe thinking on the right wavelength. If it was the 3 of them for you, is it Rassie for you, Aditya, if you had to pick?
Yeah, I would pick Rassie.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Rassie's shown so much ability to be able to push through and bat through an innings and really kick on later on. I think that's probably his most admirable tactic, is that his consistency, of course. What is your favorite characteristics about Rassie van der Lissen when it comes to that number 3 position? Why would you be so adamant that putting him there?
Because I think he has the incredible ability of changing gears, and as much as we can call him an anchor and a slow starter, he can score 94 of 55 balls. Now whether he starts slow or not, that's irrelevant to me now. If he can score 94 or 55, that's good enough, and he can do that. So he's got the technique to be able to hold an innings, and he's also got the ability to accelerate. So that's your ideal number 3.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to close the poll right now, guys. I think that most of the votes are tallied in at the moment. So I'm going to close it right now. Oops, what happened now? Jeez. Okay, so yeah, so most of the votes are in. I'm going to end the poll. Aiden has won this one. It's against what we said. We wanted him at 3. Aiden has won this one, so Aiden will go at 3. So that you guys know. Let me put up a quick banner for you guys so you can see the team as well on the screen. I think it will be a lot easier for you guys if I do that. So let me just quickly type that out. At the moment, you've got number 1, you've got Quinny. Number 2, you've got Demba. And number 3, you've got Aiden. Number 4, we're going to be still doing. I'm going to put that on right now, guys, to create that banner and put it on the screen for you guys. Everything's a little bit slow my side, guys. I'm sorry. I am trying to do it a lot faster, but unfortunately, technology. Doing these polls, I'm obviously going to get it with my little computer. So I'm going to have to obviously get more devices, more screens, etc. in the future to be able to do this type of shows. This is a tester, so don't judge me. It was a new idea that I just came up with literally like this morning. So please just bear with me. That's it. Create that banner and then put that on the screen. Awesome. Okay, let's move on. Now, smash the like button, please, guys. There's more people joining the stream right now. Let's move on to the next poll. The next poll will be the number 4 position. Very important that we remember. So it's Rassie that's not been selected. It's Heinrich that's not been selected. It is David Miller. Risa Hendricks as well. So this is going to be a bit tough. For the number 4 position, because Tristan Stubbs won't be in this one. If I make this poll, there's only 4 people that I can pick. So let me just get a quick look in the live chat quickly. Who are the 4 nominees, guys, that you would like for for this particular poll. Put your four in the conversation, all four in one message. Let me see who your four nominees are for the number 4 position. You've got Rassie, David, Temba. Rassie, David, Tristan, Heinrich, and and Riza. So there's 5 batters left to pick from. Which four of those 5 do you want to see in the number 4 position? Just put that quickly in the live chat so that I can have a look. My lord, guys, and you guys didn't tell me that I'm so far away from my mic. Could you hear me clearly though? Okay, cool, awesome. Let me just see what you guys have to say in the live chat. Come, guys, get it quickly in. Otherwise, I'm just going to pick it myself. For me, it's Rassie, David, Heinrich, and Riza. If I'm going to go in the order. So I'm just gonna go with that. Rassie, David, Heinrich, and Riza. Okay, I'm gonna ask the community right now, who's you guys number 4? Would you guys like to pick? Rassie, Stubbs, Heinrich, and Miller. I've gone with Rassie, David, Heinrich, and Riza because Riza is also one of the top order batters, so you contracted player as well. So I'm throwing him in there. Get to voting, guys. Let me see what you guys have to say. 100% so far for Rassie. Let's see what you guys have to say. Smash that like button, please. Make sure that you do so as well. Very important that you do so. Okay, so Rassie is currently 100% of the votes have gone to Rassie so far. Let's see who else gets a vote. What is your thoughts on this? It has to be Rassie, Aditya, based on what you've said for the number 3 position.
Yeah, definitely. It should be Rassie at number 3.
Can I ask you a question about Rassie? Why do you feel that he hasn't really gotten an opportunity in the IPL yet?
Well, think of it as you look at Rajasthan's batting lineup. Josh Butler has to play. There's no question about it. Right? Josh Butler has to open the batting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thereafter, your number 3 is sorted because you have Sanju Samson there. Your number 6 is sorted because you have Rian Parag there. And you're competing for one spot. That's number 5. And you look at it from a bowler's point of view, you've got Trent Bolt. And in the last game, there was Obel McCoy. So that's more of a horses for courses thing. But basically, he's competing for that number 5 spot. And they've preferred Shimron Hetmeyer there because the top order has done well. So they haven't really needed to use the sort of player with Rassie's abilities. So I think more than anything, it's their proclivity to select a power hitter as opposed to someone who's a bit of a slow starter and then changes gears eventually.
So do you think that they went into the draft thinking about that, saying maybe a backup for a top order batter for Rassie?
Well, not quite. I think what would happen is that assuming Shimron Hetmeyer was not playing, okay, and if Shimron Hetmeyer was not playing, then they'd rejig the batting order a little bit. I think there was one game in which Rassie came in with, I think, 1 or 2 overs to spare, and that was a complete disaster. Obviously, Rajasthan lost that game. They were on course to score 190, and they ended up with 150 odd. So that was poor planning on that part. But, I think eventually they'd have to rejig their batting order in order to accommodate Rassie there. And number 3 and 4 are pretty much taken, with Sanju Samson. And so that's why Rassie hasn't got his opportunity. But in saying that, there are plenty of teams that could require Rassie's services.
Yeah, true. And that's why I was hoping that I was really thinking that World Cup would have really put him on the map with regards to that, that many teams would go after him and hunt him down and want to put him into the team. But it didn't seem that way. I think he went unsold first, didn't he? And then he got picked up, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, yeah. I think he was among the last batters to be selected.
Mhm.
Um, so it was a bit unfortunate, but in saying that, obviously it's not an indication of how they rate Rassi. The IPL does rate him highly. It's just a matter of team balance, and the fact that a lot of number three, four positions have been taken.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, we're going to end this poll right now. 92% are voting for Rassi. So Rassi is that our number four that we've selected for this particular tour and this particular series. This is your best 11, guys, a combined 11. That's what we're picking right now. So Rassi goes in at number four. Next, we're going to do the very, very, very important position, guys. I think it's an important position because it's a position that a lot of you guys might want to see a youngster in. But it's also a position that you've asked for David Miller to possibly play in because you want him to bat as high as possible. So I'm not adding Riza into this mix because there's no way he's going to bat lower than four in my eyes. So I'm leaving it as is. That's the decision that and ruling that I'm making right now, Aditya. I hope you're okay with that. So we're going to go with, for this one, we're going to go with David Miller. We're going to go with Tristan Stubbs. We're going to go with his name again? Henry. And then we got. I'm gonna throw one spanner into the mix and say Dwayne Pretorius as well as a higher bat if you want to get an extra all rounder in, just for to throw a spanner in the works. So let's get that in over here. I'm going, and that's all the batters done, eh? Other than obviously Riza who wasn't picked in this particular team. So let's go. Let's vote for this number five. I'm very excited about what you guys think about this one. This is going to be the one that's really going to jump out at me. Guys, there are a lot of comments coming through at the moment. Remember that I'm focusing on doing the polls, talking to Aditya, analyzing everything. If you guys want me to see your comments, please super chat us your comments right now. That's how you're going to get us to read out your comments. Definitely. I can't always guarantee you guys that I'm going to read all your comments out. It's impossible for me to get to all of them, especially on such a show like this where it's quite busy. So get involved with the super chat if you want me to read out your comments and see your teams that you guys have selected as well. Okay, let's see what you guys are doing in the poll right now. Aditya, who's your selection? For me personally, I mean, I would like to see David Miller in that number five position. I think the higher the better for David, actually, in my opinion. And what is your thoughts on this?
Ideally, yes, David Miller should be batting at five, but part of me feels like David is obviously tried and tested. You know, if David can take care of six, let Tristan Stubbs play at five. Give him that security of David Miller being there at six.
Okay, because for me personally, I would have gone with the reverse. I would have gone David five and Stubbs. But I understand your view on giving that protection almost for Stubbs that he knows. As well as giving that little bit of extra edge, knowing that there's someone behind him that can actually,
Yeah,
um, yeah, do the job, and you don't have to be worried about your wicket and pricing your wickets all the way.
yeah. I mean, if
Stubbs
Stubbs
just
gets
walking
out
to
for
bat,
one,
says Lorenzo. Shh. Eh?
no, I'm saying if Stubbs gets out for one, for example, then
Oh,
David
I
Miller
thought
is
you said
batting
he
as
just
well.
did. What to have a heart attack?
I mean, incredibly, he is batting on one, but that's fine. He's made his mark. He's
Okay.
off the mark.
I don't have the IPL playing anyway here right now. If one of these days when I have an awesome studio, we'll have a TV playing and we'll do watch alongs, guys. Probably that's what we want to go towards eventually, of course. But yeah, so at the moment, the vote 83% has voted for David, 8% has voted for Stubbs, and 8% has voted for Heinrich. Nobody for Pretorius at six. I thought that wouldn't happen. I just wanted to throw a fourth one in. But it's nice to see you guys rallying behind David, and you guys believe in David, and I mean, most people do, and I do. I mean, there was time, obviously, that I wanted him to do that. There were certain things that were irritating me about him because he's a senior batter, and there's still one thing that irritates me, and the only thing that irritates me, you know it, and I speak about it often, Aditya, is that farming of the strike. the situation when South Africa are in a situation when they're running out of overs. I want to see this guy smack the ball, take most of the hits, take most of the strike, and hit the ball as best as he can, get as much runs on the board as possible. You can see like the likes of Stoinis, the Australians. There's no doubt, there's no way Stoinis is going to allow a tail ender to face a ball if he's on the other end. There is absolutely no, whether he, even if he walked in and the guy was on 12, I'm pretty sure Stoinis will say, "Hey, I want the strike." I mean, even if the roles were reversed, for example. So you guys are voting in. I think David Miller is running away with this one completely over here, 83%, 8-8. So there's no way anybody else can catch up based on the views currently. So I'm in this poll as well. David Miller goes to that number 5 position, as per the votes in the poll on this particular show. Now, this is running quite smoothly, actually, guys. I'm enjoying it. You must let me know if you enjoy it this way. I think I enjoy it a lot more this way than doing it the other way, with regards to getting you guys to talk and say things. We might throw a span in the works at the end where you guys can throw in super chats to change one of the names. This makes it a lot easier because then we're not looking for a whole lot of different names to pick from. It's easier to do that type of show where we're having fun, where you guys get to pay for your changes a lot later. Okay, so let's put David in here in the number 5 position. I like it. Although I do understand, and I do get your point, Aditya, because it's an excellent point actually. To have the more senior guy sit back and maybe have the younger guy that's on his debut, of course, coming in a little earlier and knowing that he has protection behind him. So it is an excellent point that you make. But let's move on to that number 6 position. Now, I think I know exactly who the guys are going to pick, but let's just do the votes poll anyway. We've got Stubbs. We've got Klaassen. He hasn't been picked yet, right? We've got Pretorius, but he hasn't been picked either. And maybe, do you want to throw one more in? Do you want to just leave it at Pretorius? I don't think there's any other batting all-rounders necessarily, because I see Wayne Parnell more as the number 7. So can we go with Stubbs, Klaassen, and Pretorius? Are you happy with that?
Yes. Well, I think Stubbs and Pretorius, I don't know about Klaassen.
So you wouldn't even think of Klaassen as a 6?
No, I think that the batting lineup would be too long then. The bowling would be a fair bit lighter.
Okay, let's just throw it into the mix. Let's see what the people have to say. I've got the 3 votes over there for you guys. Let's see who you guys pick for that number 6 slot. I know, guys, none of the things I'm saying, I'm just asking questions. I'm putting the questions out there so that you guys can hear what I have to say, of course, because it's very important. Aditya, if you do see a super chat pop up, you do have control to click on the comments and put it up on the screen and read it out, please, if you can. If you do see any super chats, please do so. Interrupt me. You have that power. That's why you're my co-host on the show. So if there's a super chat, you interrupt me. No matter what I'm saying, I could be mid crying and you must interrupt me with a super chat. Okay, so we've got Stubbs over here, 8% running away with the votes. We've got some guys though voting for Klaassen and Pretorius. Do you see why? Do you understand why though, Aditya? Is it for you because of the? Yeah. Do you understand why?
Yeah. Well, I think in part it's because if you can either take Klaassen and extend the batting lineup, or you can play 2 spinners. And I think in Indian conditions, you do want to have the liberty of playing 2 spinners. So
Okay.
you do have, like, Tabrez has to play. There's no question about it.
Yeah, of course.
And Keshav is going to play because he's also vice captain, I believe. So you do need to have that flexibility in the order. Generally, given the style of play that the South Africans typically employ, I think it's fair to assume that for the most part they'll be setting up for a big finish, and if that's the case, then your top 6 or top 7 should be good enough to do the job on the day.
I mean, I can understand Klaassen because Klaassen is a type of player that can hit the ball quite well, strike the ball quite well. But for me personally, I think 6 is a little bit too low for him. I think he needs more time to get himself in. Actually, I mean, majority of his innings that were successful were ones we had time at the crease. Not all of them have been when he came in into a spot of bother. So for me, even though he does have the ability to be able to clear the boundaries, I do believe that he's someone that needs a little bit more time than a guy like Tristan Stubbs. I mean, how's Stubbs doing? Stubbs is doing now at the moment, Aditya? Is he doing okay?
He's out.
Oh Lord,
He got run out.
was he run out? Okay, cool. That's
Yeah.
that's okay. That's okay. He's gonna take his. You see, not everybody's career starts off like others. Some people start slower. Some people get unlucky. So this is going to be a massive, massive learning curve for Stubbsy. I think it's something that he's going to learn a lot from. So yeah, we're going to end the poll right now, guys. The maximum votes have been are in. At the moment, we've got Stubbs that has won this vote outrightly. With not outrightly, actually, I'm lying. 60-40. If you're looking at it, he won 60%. Klassen got 20%. Pretorius got 20% on this poll. So we've got Tristan Stubbs that we're going to put in at number 6. So I'm in the poll. Smash the like button, please, guys. Make sure that you do so because that's how we get into people's recommended feeds. You guys are doing an excellent job at picking this particular teams. It's going quite quickly. I'm liking it. It's not taking way too long. The other way took exceptionally long. Us tallying up and 500 people talking. Okay, now I wish it was 500 people. 5, 6, 7 people tallying up different votes. So it has been quite tricky in the past, but I'm liking this one. I'm liking this method right now. I really am. Okay, let's move on to the number 7 position. I like this position. It's my favorite number, of course. I don't know if a lot of you guys know that number 7 is my favorite number. Also large because of the legendary Manchester United number 7. That's one of the major reasons. And also at the age of 7, a lot of good things happen in my life that I can flashly, like slightly remember in my dreams that I think happened. So that's my fantasy age. Let's go to the number 7 position. We've got Dwayne Pretorius now. That means that Mr. Klassen is not in this particular 11 that you guys picked. We've got Pretorius, we've got Wayne. I'm gonna write one now, and we're gonna add Marco into the mix, and then I'm going to throw Keshaf. Is that fair? Keshaf into the mix as maybe a potential outsider number 7. If you want 2 spinners in your side, it all depends on that. Can you say categorically, Aditya, that South Africa must play 2 spinners, or do you feel that it's a possibility because they have 2 in the squad?
It's a possibility, but a strong one, because you have to take into consideration that a lot of Indian players, certainly in the top order, they prefer to start off with pace. So if you have the option of starting with the Aiden Markram um, or Keshav Maharaj in the power play, then I think that would disturb the rhythm of a lot of players. So that certainly should be taken into consideration. But in saying that, conditions on the day will determine what uh, what the team combination should look like.
Yeah. And for the guys that have just joined us, and if you guys are new to the channel, please click subscribe. Please click the notification bell for all future videos. What we are currently doing is we're doing a poll to pick each position. The polls are in the live chat. You guys can do your votes over there. We've gone through every single position, guys. So stay with us, bear with us. This is what we have currently. And if you guys haven't seen the squad quite yet, I'm going to put it up on the screen quickly. Aditya, is there something that you wanted to say?
The hilarious comment here from Kirtan who says that Keshav at 7 is like Quinny opening the bowling. But I believe we have Dwayne Pretorius at 7, my friend.
Yeah, he was just one of the options over there that I just threw into the mix as a 4th option because I want to try to obviously use the poll to its advantage. Like you only get 4 spots, so I want to try and use the 4 spots as much as possible so you guys have more options. But it doesn't sound so crazy because 9% of you have voted for Keshav and Parnell. They're on the same level over here. So currently we've got Pretorius, we've got Parnell, Marco, and Keshav. Pretorius is winning this so far. We need some more votes, guys. Not all of you guys have voted quite yet. So I'm still waiting for a couple of your votes to come in. But that's the squad on the screen for you guys, and that's the team that we picked so far when it comes to the 1 till 6 in this particular team. Um, yeah, it's interesting one because I see people are really going up and down with regards to who they're picking for this one. The poll is jumping a lot. It went first, Pretorius was way ahead, and now others are leveling out over here. So Parnell, Marco, and Keshav has started to get some votes. But at the moment, it's pushing more towards Pretorius. What is your favorite aspects about Pretorius' game, Aditya?
Well, obviously, it's got to be his death bowling now.
Yeah.
He's South Africa's most consistent death bowler, and obviously we have to appreciate the fact that he can bat as well. So that's, and obviously an excellent fielder. Um,
But we
so
haven't
yeah,
seen enough of his batting, eh? Like especially in the IPL. Like I was
I,
hoping that we could,
he
you
did.
know.
He actually played one incredible innings along with MS Dhoni.
Oh yes,
You
yeah.
know, when they chased down who was it? I think 20 over the last over. So yeah, yeah, I think we have seen a bit of his batting, no doubt about it.
Mm. I mean, that used to be the one aspect for me that used to stand out with regards to him was his batting. It was always the aspect of his batting was the one thing that put him ahead of everybody else, in my opinion, when it came to that number 7 position. And he's worked a hell of a lot on his bowling recently, and that death bowling, like you said. I mean, in the poll, Pretorius wins it. We're going to move on from that right now. I'm going to add it to the list as well. Um, yeah, that number 7 position has always been one that we've been looking for, Aditya, for quite some time. In T20 cricket, the most it's, I feel like it's one of the most important positions because such a pivotal role of having a guy that if a guy can bowl and finish and smack the ball. Like I think Hardik Pandya was always the one I felt Hardik and Stokes were the two all rounders or bowling all rounders that you look at and you were like, those are the ones that you want to live up to. But there are quite a few coming through the system that we are seeing. Who are some of your notable mentions when it comes to that number 7 role
In in South
in
Africa,
general? In general, in the world.
general, in general, look, number 7. That's a tricky one because I think Rian Parag, he's a good one. Look, one thing that we have to take into consideration with respect to number 7 is that the numbers will not necessarily be impressive. The numbers are not likely to be impressive. Um, they're going to have high strike rates, but given the circumstances that they typically come under, um, a number 7 batter is more often than not going to go for glory and get out. But that's no reason to sort of underestimate them. It's just that we need to define their role and abilities in a different manner.
Mm.
Um, so that's something that we need to take into consideration. So Rian Parag, for example, I think he's a phenomenal finisher, and he'll only learn as he gets older because he's only 21. He's only a 20-year-old kid, and I think there's a tremendous future ahead of him. So I think Rian Parag really stands out to me.
Mhm. Excellent. Okay, so for the number 8 position, I've gone with Marco Panel, Keshav, and KG. I've thrown KG into the mix because you obviously want to play with 3 seamers, etc., or extra or like 3 specialist seamers. Then KG is in the number 8 position. I mean, he's shown his ability a little bit with the bat, so he can hold that number 8 position. But are you okay with those ones? For the number 8 position?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, I
Let's
think
ask
so.
the community. Let's ask the community. Let's see what you guys have to say. Let's get the voting, guys. Let's see what you guys pick for the number 8 position. Now, I'm happy that Marco is in this team because I think Marco is really going to be that batter for South Africa. That all rounder for South Africa in the number 8 position. I think if he works a little bit more on his batting as well, he could perhaps even try and push for a number 7 spot in the team. If he can really, really work on his batting, there are certain aspects of his batting that he needs to learn, like, for example, shot selection at the right times to know when to smack the ball and not running between the wickets as well. I think a lot of our younger cricketers, a that's something that they need to add to their game. And if any younger cricketers are listening out there, please listen to me right now. Try and learn that skill from a young age as soon as you can, running quickly between the wickets. You might run a couple of partners out. It might happen in your time. Um, I mean, even the best of the best do it. They run each other out at some points. I'm not saying that you need to go run out people left, right, and center, that you're going to learn every single time you run someone out. And don't be reckless about it. But to speak to your teachers, speak to your coaches, and say you wanna learn this part of the aspect of the game and add it to your game, because it's really going to differentiate you from the rest. It's going to put you in a bracket that is an outlier, because not a lot of people will think about that necessarily. It's just part of the game. It's people don't actually really think about it and add shots to their game so that they can do that aspect of the game a lot better. So Marco started off with the most amount of votes in this particular section. Now it's dropped to 38%. Keshav Maharaj is equal on 38%, and KG is on 25%. Not all the votes have come in quite yet. So guys, get to voting. Let's see what happens. And I'll wait a little bit for you guys. When it comes to this position, who are you picking? You spoke highly of having two spinners. So are you leaning more towards Keshav here, Aditya?
Yeah, if South Africa go the two spinner route, I'd pick Keshav. If they go the pacer route, I'd go with Marco Jansen.
Excellent. Wow. Not a lot of people of color in this team either. Even in the squad in general, actually. Like if you looked at the squad in general, so I think they might be looking probably at the quota system if that's the case, because or we are going to see Riza and we're going to see Wayne Parnell play, which is most likely going to be an option when it comes to transformation and targets. But it's good to see who we believe, or the community, not myself or you, but the community believes are the best players that are from the squad. And we can compare that to what they select and see, we can compare it to that. All the votes are in currently. Marco has won at 45%, Keshav is 27%, and KG is 27%. So I'm ending that poll right now. We've got Marco Jansen at number 8. Like, Marco's been impressive over the last 2 years, but from your perspective, Aditya, is there something other than the fact that he's tall, other than the fact that he's left-handed, and other than the fact that he's quite quick and aggressive, that has impressed you about Marco? What was the one moment where you realized, this boy has something? Was it that death over to that he bowled to AB de Villiers, or when was it exactly that you really thought, wow? Because I can tell you about mine story a little later.
I thought this year was certainly that 3 wickets in the over. That you got Faf, Virat, and Anuj Rawat out. That really nailed it for me, because I thought this is unbelievable bowling. This is unbelievable bowling. There's no way that you can get 3 outstanding batters of that caliber out in one over, and I saw it live.
Wow.
So I think that was icing on the cake. So that certainly did, and his performance in the Test arena, because when you do that, just like batting, your game tends to evolve. And you learn more about your game through that. Obviously, we're yet to see what he can do with the bat in T20s. And one other thing is that if you look at Marco, in that one game he got 3 wickets in an over, and in the next game, I think he got hit for some 63 runs in 4 overs. So he had that seesaw, and he can only learn from that. He can only get better from it.
Yeah. let me just see what's happening over here with regards to some of the comment sections. I'll get to some of the comment sections a little bit later. Let me put the poll for number 9 position. I've thrown Kesha Fossey into the mix in case you still guys still want to play two spinners. Um, I'm not going to take that out of the equation when we're selecting our teams because obviously we'll minus players as we go along. But it's KG, Lungi, Anrich, and Keshaf. I put them as on possible number 9s. Let's throw that into the mix because for me, Shams is a number 11. I'm sorry, Shamal. I love you, bro. But when it comes to the battings arena, there's still some work to do over there. Let's let's get into the to the poll. Let's see what people are selecting. First votes, couple of votes have come in, and KG's are 100% right now. Let's see how that changes, if it does change. I'll get into some of the comment sections. I think the bowlers are pretty simple. Aditya. It's either you play two spinners or not, because I mean all the bowlers are there. I mean all three that are there that I wanted to be there. So I'm happy with all three playing. I'm happy with two of them playing or with all three playing. I'm keen for either. It depends on whether it's it's both or not. Should Temba be in a T20 size, says Lorenzo Bailey.
Ah, come on, brother. It's his birthday today.
Okay, so I think Temba still has to. Temba as a captain has been incredible for South Africa, and I think based on his captaincy, he does deserve a position in the side. But what I do think is that there is aspects of his T20 game that he needs to improve, particularly getting a lot of runs in the power play. Now, I don't think Temba Bavuma has been given a proper shot at T20 cricket as an opener. He's been moved around quite a lot. He hasn't really settled in a position. We spoke about flexibility yesterday. They've been very flexible with regards to Temba Bavuma. They've been very flexible with regards to the way they want to play him and what his role is. I think if once that's identified, I think he could be a really good player. I mean, like I said, I'm basing it on what I've seen personally in T20 games, and I've watched Timba for the Lions, and has been exceptional. I mean, we do speak about players when they do well in domestically, and we look at them. And I've saw him meet some big boundaries to score 100 in a final. That pressure moments are very important if you can do that consistently. Now, his game is not 100% tailor made fully for T20 cricket right now. I think there's still aspects of his game that he can improve. But his ability as a captain, I don't see anybody else in this team that will be able to um, do what Temba, or to be brave enough for Temba to be like Temba is. I think the experience as captain does hold a weight over here, and how he brings together the dressing room with regards to his attitude. Yes, Keshaf is a good vice captain, but I do think that Temba is a better captain than Keshaf at the moment, just based on experience, based on in the past. But I do agree with you guys that maybe his T20 game can be tailored a little bit. I mean, there are many things that players can add to their games to improve. Um, but and I know Lorenzo's compare. You saying, but look at Root, arguably England's best batter, yet he doesn't. But for me personally, I don't know. I haven't seen Root play enough T20 cricket for me to have a. I don't think it's a. I don't think I've seen enough of Root to be able to make that judgment and compare. I'm sorry, but I'm going to defend Temba from regards to. I do see him being able to hold that innings together and be complementary with Quinton. I've spoken to Quinton on many occasions. We've heard him in the press conference as well. He's also spoken about how he loves to bat with Temba, and it shocked me that they haven't done it more often. That they haven't played Temba more often as an opener in T20 cricket. What's your thoughts on that, Aditya?
There's been so many questions about where Timber will bat in the order that I think he's confused also. If you look at the last World Cup, it started with Riza Hendricks in there also. And I'm not sure if that's ideal. I would have liked to see Timber and Quinny opening consistently
Yeah.
over a period of time, and seeing that hasn't happened. Um, I think that's unfortunate.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
um, speak and look. I don't know how much Temba's game has evolved, how much his T20 game has evolved, uh, but it has the potential to evolve, and I think we need to take that into consideration. Looking at the looking at what Faf did with his game, looking at what Kevin Peterson did with his game towards the end of his career. So I think that potential is there, but he needs to find it.
Maybe this can be that series that he turns things around. Um, Maybe this is the series that he does turn things around, etc. So hopefully we can see that happening. Um, yeah, let's see if this is the one that we
And
that we.
I think part of it also comes with game sense. We know Temba to be a good leader of the game, obviously. Uh, so I think there's potential there. It's yet to be tapped.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to end this poll right now for the number 8 position. Oh, sorry, for the number 9 position. KG has won this one outright. So we dot one. So a lot of you guys maybe don't want to see two spinners being in this team. It seems like it, but KG wins this one with 69 or 71% actually. Sorry, the last vote just came in. So it's Kagiso Rabada that will be the number 9 for South Africa. You see, back to Temba again. I've seen him do phenomenal things in T20 cricket domestically, but I've yet to see him completely transform that into into the national side yet. And I don't know if that's because they've been up and down with his selection. They haven't necessarily, like I said, stuck to one position, helped him to grow a partnership. He could be that partner that we were talking about that maybe someone like Quinton de Kock needs. We've seen Quinton de Kock and Janaman Malan open the batting quite a bit. I've seen him actually open up the batting a lot. And I'm talking about not for South Africa, but also for the Blitz. And it wasn't always the best chemistry between the two of them. They almost seem like they're trying to play the similar types of games. And at some points, one person suffers because the other one's taking the other one shine in a way, I feel. So it is sometimes really cool to have someone that can play a Faf type of innings. And hopefully Temba can play those type of innings. From what players have told me, so from what players have told me and what I've heard from players in the game, they do rate Temba as an opener in T20 cricket, and that's just from what I've heard around in the cricket sphere. So we might be wrong, and that's why we have differences of opinion. But I do believe that Temba Bavuma has what it takes to be able to really take his game forward and to improve. But I think that we need to give him, if we give him this opportunity in India, he isn't looking like his game is evolving. I think there must be some questions around it. But on top of but the problem is that it's so close to the World Cup. It's too soon to be able to change something like that and find a new partner once again, disrupting Quinton de Kock again. But yeah, but okay. So, but I see Lorenzo saying, but Faf is far better than Temba in T20 squads. That's the difference. If Faf was there, I would pick him.
But that's the other thing. I I don't know if Temba has been interested in playing in overseas T20 leagues. When we had interviewed him a couple of months ago, and we asked him that question about whether he'd be interested to be a part of the IPL, he said it would be nice if that had happened. But I don't know. Look, if it's not the IPL, then maybe you should consider the CPL or the BPL, or these are options. And somewhere I feel like players who've done that, who've been on this circuit, have had a way to evolve their T20 games. And I wonder if that might be the way for Temba to do it. Because look, let's be real, like Faf started playing the IPL in 2011. That's 11 years of playing in a top league, so that makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's move on to number 10 position. We're getting towards the end of this particular voting system. Let's get in. Let's pick your number 10, guys. I've thrown in the last remaining guys, Lungi, Andrich, and Keshaf as your options because Shamsi for me is not going to, with regards to batting, they're all better than Shamal with the bat. I'm assuming that Shamal is going to pick at the bottom at the end over there. So we've got Andrich and uh, has been voted for the most at currently, and he's sitting on 100%. Um, what's been your assessment of him so far with regards to the IPL so far since he start because he was so bad in that start, but we understood why. Coming back from a long injury,
Yeah,
not having any game time, not having much net sessions, etc., getting back in his rhythm, he really struggled in that first game. But how do you feel that he's pulled it back and recovered from that, Aditya?
very well. He's gotten better with every game, and that's what we expected. I think yesterday a commentator was talking about um, Andre Nokia's sort of return from injury, and he's done quite well. He's gotten better. I think he's been able to get that balance of speed and control again, and he's back to bowling. The sort of pace that we know he can bowl. So yeah.
Mhm. Lorenzo, I know you don't hate. Sorry, I'm just going to respond to you again. I know you don't hate Temba. I know you don't because you have defended him in certain cases. Um, and I get your opinion, but I actually think that he suits T20 international cricket more than he does a T20 league. Games in T20 eyes are a lot closer, lower scoring than not necessarily 230 plus scores. We often see very close games. If you even look at the World Cup, for example, yes, because of where it's played, it's obviously going to make a big difference. But when it comes to T20 international cricket, it's a little bit tighter at the top. It's a little bit harder to score in that power play. And I feel that you need your best power play batters there to be able to. You don't always need to clear the boundary in the power play. It's also very good to be able to rotate the strike. And Temba is one of our best rotation of strike players in the squad. He's one of the best runners between the wickets, which is so important for Quinny to have a partner that can do that because Quinny sometimes gets boggled down and he needs a more experienced guy, I feel, than a younger guy. I don't think Quinny is the type of guy that can mentor a youngster on the other end. I don't think maybe that's something that Quinny um, is one of Quinny's strengths necessarily. Maybe I'm a bit harsh on him because he was the captain of South Africa before and he has the ability. But I just think that when Quinny's batting, he needs to focus on his batting. And that's what he needs to focus on. And he needs someone that could possibly rotate the strike. And as a captain at the top of the order, leading by example, I think it's the best possible with him as captain currently. I think it's the best possible chance for him to be able to show his character. I do agree that there's some weaknesses in his game, but I'm sure that he could iron it out if he finds a game plan. I don't think it's all lost for Temba Bavuma that we just write him off completely. Um, I would like to see him perform and gain confidence before the World Cup. And a large portion of my thinking might be also because I know that he's going to get selected. So probably that's what's. I can't like try and think in the fantasy way easily. It's difficult for me because I'm looking at the reasons that they are giving me for the reason for his selection, and it makes some of them make sense to me. So I'm like, okay, cool, he's gonna be selected. So why even contemplate anybody else right now if that's the case? That's maybe a wrong approach to have. Me personally, I should maybe change that approach. Um, but yeah, your guys are voting. Votes are in. Andrich Nokia has won this particular one over here, which we thought was going to happen anyway. Um, let me see what happens here quickly. I just want to delete this image and yeah, so I have everything is there. Cool. Okay, so in this poll right now, I think Andrik Nokia, of course, is going to win that one. I didn't think that he would, that Lungi would win that one based on previous shows. Even though I'm a big fan of Lungi Ngiri's bowling in T20 cricket, I think he's had an excellent, he has an excellent amount of variations and not necessarily variations, but skill to be able to pull the ball back and bowl slower. Um, but Andrich has won this one outright. Pretty simple. And then we go into 11, which I probably am going to assume that will be who that will be, Shamsi. But I'm going to put it into the voting system anyway so that you guys can vote because I like these polls, fun to make. So I just want to do another one. So for that final 11 slot, we've got Lungi and we've got Shamo. So between the two guys, who will you pick? I think I know who. So I don't think I'm going to like try and even like contemplate. Why do you think Stabray Shamji should be selected, Aditya?
Um, because
You started it so seriously as well, because
he's South Africa's best bowler. T20 cricket.
it's so easy to answer that one. The Brace is talk about the Brace. The man is one of my favorite personalities in cricket, and honestly, like every single time I see him, every single time I see him, he looks gives me a sometimes he gives me a hug. Um, Sometimes you'll just shake my hand, but he always takes time to stop and ask me how I am, how's things going, has a little chat with me. Very humble, very respectful. I mean, this guy and the mentality, guys, because Shamo had a very difficult time to get to the level where he is at right now. He wasn't always this good. And I think there was a time when a lot of people were speaking about how he might not be good enough for South Africa at some point. There was a lot of that type of talks happening. And it was shocking in my eyes that was the case because we saw him in domestic cricket do his things, but wow, he's constantly improved every single season, every year, every season, in and out. When they ask him to do something, he does it. He's always putting the team first. He's respectable. He's fun. I heard he's in the dressing room as well. I mean, Shamo is just such a fantastic person to have in the dressing room. I think anybody would want him there. So currently, you guys have voted. I just want to do this quickly. South Africa. I hope I'm spelling this stuff correctly. South Africa fans. 11 India tour 2022. Let me just put it 2022 there because people are gonna so that we have a recollection. Can you speak to me a little bit about Lungi and what do you think Lungi needs to do to get a position back? Get a position back into the side, Aditya. Do you think it's possible for him to do so? By the way, we've
Um,
ended the poll. Sorry, we've ended the poll, and Shame has won it. Shame, yes, Shamo. Auto-corrected. Sorry, guys. It's Shamo that won that one. So we ended the poll, and Shamo's won that one outright.
um, well, a couple of things. I think his role needs to be clarified, and someone that coaching setup needs to figure out the best the best time for him to bowl in a game. And he should probably work on that. Work on variations that suit a certain time in the game. Uh, I personally feel like, given the fact that his pace has reduced a
Yeah.
little bit, for him to be bowling in the middle overs, I think between overs 6 to 15, any time between then is probably ideal. Because in the power play and in the death overs, he's probably the one bowler that they'd go after.
Mm. I mean, I have seen some cases where he was excellent at the death. On many occasions. I mean, we saw that season for CSK how excellent he was in that team. He was so pivotal in them winning that title that year. Um, and then suddenly, I think injuries and other things also involved. Obviously, might have also affected him to change his even his pace and stuff as went down since I saw him break onto the scene. So it is quite interesting to see that how he's changed because it's not necessarily. I still think he has what it takes to be in the mix. I mean, that's obviously why you see him be selected in teams. But it's just so sad that I don't and that I'm not getting to see him play in the IPL as much as I would have liked. Um, How do you go from being one of CSK's best ever bowlers? I mean, not best ever bowlers. Sorry, one of CSK's best bowlers one season. We're helping them win a trophy to almost not getting selected in the next couple of like tours when you for his teams. There's a lot of variables probably involved.
Yeah, the fair bit of variables involved, and I think it's the setup he's in that's dictating whether or not he will get a game. But look, I think if you wait your turn a little bit, eventually you'll find a way to play. It's just unfortunate right now that the Delhi Capitals balance doesn't allow Lungi to play.
Yeah, I really thought that him and Andy will be able to build up a partnership, but they have other bowlers there that are doing excellently at the Delhi Capitals. This is unfortunate and how it works. But what do you think? What do you think can be one thing that he can add to his game that you think will differentiate him from the rest? I mean, I see Jata and Hans saying Lungi needs to work on his Yorkers and needs to work on his fitness to increase his face or his chances.
Probably variations, like slow ball variations. You know, it's to maybe have a chat with Harshal Patel. You know, where you have your cutters, knuckleball. That sort of thing. Your leg cutter, perhaps. I think that to me is where he can become a better bowler. Because look, it's just that if you can't trouble batters with pace, then you have to find other ways to you have to find other ways to develop variations, I think.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of guys like Werner has an excellent point of view. He says the main thing that Ngidi doesn't bowl 140 kilometers per hour anymore. Slower balls are less effective when it is overused, and the difference between that and its normal pace deliveries is not as big. Um, Fizz has to sit out for ooh, has to sit out for Nokia. Let's be honest, fitness is what's hampering Lungi. So, guys, you've selected your team. I'm going to put it up on the screen. This is what you guys selected. I'm going to be putting it out on all social media platforms as well. Temba Bavuma, Quentin de Kock, Aiden Markram, Rassi van der Dussen, David Miller, Tristan Stubbs, Dwayne Pretorius, Marco Jansen, Kagisha Rabada, Anik Nokia, and Tabray Shamsi. We've only selected 3 players of color in this team. It's incredible. I'm going to get slaughtered by all my journal friends. They're going to be calling me or messaging me and telling me, yeah, what is your fair? I get that a lot, actually, guys. I'm not going to lie. I do get quite a bit of stick when you guys select your teams. I do. And I always just say the same thing because it's the truth. I didn't select the team, guys. That's what the fan base did. I love you all, so I'm not going to discriminate you. I'll defend you guys, but I'm also gonna hide behind you too. So please protect me. You guys picked, you guys selected this team. Thanks a lot for picking this team. I will be putting it up on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook. Perhaps maybe on TikTok as well. I'll probably maybe do a little bit of a I'll probably cut a piece of this video to show what you guys have to say. Just for all of you guys that have missed the show, this is what you guys selected as your 11 for the team against. Let me just start that again. Just for all of you guys that have missed the show, just so that you guys know, this is the team that you guys selected for your best 11 that you selected for the tour to India. Just to put it on the screen again, it's Temba Bavuma, Quentin de Kock, Aiden Markram, Rassi van der Dussen, David Miller, Tristan Stubbs, Dwayne Pretorius, Marco Jansen, Kagisha Rabada, Anik Nokia, De Brage, Shamsi. If you guys want to add anybody else to the list, remove anybody from the list, let me know in the comment section below, and we will put that up on social media, etc. We will post that. We will reply to you as much as we can. Put that down in the comment section below what you guys think should be the 11. To all of you guys joining the show, I'm going to put it up on TikTok, and I'll show you guys what you guys have to say every week. I'm gonna put it up on all social media platforms. But guys, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed this way to do the voting system. I think we're going to keep this system going forward for this particular channel, and continue doing these type of shows. I really enjoy it with all of you guys. So stay tuned to this channel. This is the place you want to be if you love cricket in South Africa. We are here to promote South African cricket. That's what our number one job that we are trying to do. So please, guys, support us. Subscribe to this channel. Click that notification bell for all future videos. But not only that, guys, there's so many other call to actions that I need you guys to do. Download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine. Aditya writes in it. Myself, I write in it. All of our writers write in it. We have so many great writers that contribute every single month, guys. And every issue is free. You don't have to pay a cent. So please go ahead and download the latest issue and all the back issues you'll have available to you as well. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. We don't ask for money a lot. We don't ask you guys for anything. We give you a lot of free content. The only thing we ask you is to become a patron today. We are 100% bootstrapped. If you want to see us continue this channel and continue growing, if you want this to be feasible for us, or for me personally, because it's going to get to obviously a stage where I'm not going to be able to continue if it continues the way it is currently. We are growing very well, but money-wise, there's nothing much coming in. All of it's going back into maintaining the company. So get involved with the Patreon account. That helps us stay alive. So go and click on the link on the description, in the description as well. cricketfanaticsmag.com. Please support us there. We need as many views as possible. We do get over 50,000 people that come to the site every single month. So go ahead and click on the link on the screen. I think there will be a link in the description as well, but cricketfanaticsmag.com for all updates. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you, Aditya. Peace.